But for the last one, man, I don't know if y'all seen the clip of the young boy was that down in Florida? Yeah, Florida traffic stop where them cops were just wilding out, man. So I wanted to get y'all take, man. Do y'all think like the cops use excessive force, or were they in their rights to escalate up on this young guy? So let me pull up the clip and then we'll break it down. Damn.
Now, exit the vehicle. Show me your hands. Here.
Violent moments captured on camera during a traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. This February video going viral after driver William McNeil Jr., who filmed it inside of his car, posted it Sunday, drawing swift reaction since. It was an interaction with police already in progress, including the moment an officer breaks McNeil's window and strikes him in the face.
Can you call your supervisor? All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands. Here.
But the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says that the video doesn't tell the whole story.
Social media is not reality. One video clip devoid of context can be very misleading.
The sheriff tonight releasing officer-worn body camera footage showing McNeil pulled over for driving without headlights in the rain. They say he wouldn't provide his license and registration. You can hear officers repeatedly warning McNeil that if he did not comply with getting out of the vehicle, they would break his window and put him under arrest.
Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window. What is your reason?
The sheriff says none of the involved officers violated criminal law, but an administrative review is ongoing.
Yes, there absolutely was force used by the arresting officers, and yes, that force is ugly. And just because force is ugly does not mean it's unlawful.
NBC News has not spoken to McNeil directly, but his lawyer says he's still recovering.
His teeth actually went through his lip when he was slammed to the ground. So he's still recovering and dealing with those injuries.
His attorney says they plan on filing a lawsuit. Marissa Parra, NBC News.
And we thank you.
Yeah, that's... So what you think about that, man? Y'all think that was too excessive?
Of course. I mean, if this was like a white person, let's just be honest real quick. Because the police is only here to protect and to serve, for their own kind. So a black person is always going to be labeled as a threat, especially if they're not really complying or they actually, it's exercising like their rights. But they're going to let you know real quick that, look, man, like, nigga, you ain't got no rights, wherever that you think that you have. And so, like I said, if that was a white person, they would probably gave him like the soft, like gurney treatment. They'll make sure that he's not injured. They're not going to throw him on the ground like that. So it's always kind of sickening when you see like police brutality and just a bunch of like, white cops that's like flexing their power towards like another like, black person. But at the same time, because we know that, look, we don't have that type of power and that type of pull, and that time to be flexing our rights to like some officer, it's best like to like just beat a man. Like, okay, you have your recording, you have your phone with you, he tell you to step out of the car, just step out of the car, have everything ready. So if they do hit you, you could at least say like, hey, I did everything I was supposed to do, even though like, yeah, I knew my rights and I still complied, but them throwing them like on the ground like that, that would have made them look even worse, So that's my opinion to it.
All right, go ahead, Wally. You want?
So as far as was it over excessive?
Yeah.
The answer is hell yeah, it was over excessive. Look, granted, you want to talk about he's not complying as far as pulling down the window or doing any other things that they've asked him. But let's be real about one thing. Okay, let's say, right, you asked him to do certain things, he didn't do it, and you let him know ahead of time you will be planning on breaking his window if you don't, comply. He didn't comply, you broke the window. What gave you the power to punch him in the face? Nothing. Like literally nothing. There's nothing that gave you the power to punch him in the face at all. There is no reason to punch him in the face after you broke that window. There was none. None at all. Even when you open the door after breaking the window, he barely even fought you for even unbuckling the damn seatbelt. But now, granted, he sort of tried to tussle when you grabbed him and then using over excessive force, which you didn't even have to do that. It's like, nah, yeah, these cops really just be doing too much, way over the top, because they didn't really need to do that. Unbuckle him, bring him out, put him against the damn vehicle, put the handcuffs on him, and send him on his way into the car. You did not do all that. You really did not do all that. That's all pointless. So again, this whole thing about abusing power, and then it's like you got the cop right there saying, hey, technically this was fair game. You goof. How's that fair game? What physical harm did I put you in? Come on, man. This shit getting old.
Yeah, I agree with y'all, man. It was definitely excessive. And man, back in the day, like, because I like what M3 said. It's just like, hey, man, comply. Make it easier, because sometimes people they could be assholes and stuff. But man, I'm starting to see why people are actually scared. Because I think they don't understand why, like, especially younger males too. They're nervous to get out, because it's just like, damn, man, they might do something to me. And they kind of justified why people have those fears, like in that video. So it's just like people don't want to get out the car and shit, because they like, man, they're gonna like, be excessive. It kind of played out in real time, because like I said, it's like, okay, man, like you did give them warnings for like, hey, man, we're gonna have to break the window. You don't come out. That's fine. But like Wally said, it's just like, man, as soon as you broke it, man, and then you punch him in the face, it's like, this is why motherfuckers are scared. This is why they don't comply, because it's just like, like you said, he got out the car, man. It didn't require all that force and shit. So yeah, I think, man, for the one cop, it's like, I get sometimes you got to be the spokesperson when you're in a high position, but dude, sometimes some shit you just like, look, we're gonna review everything, make sure that they did everything to protocol. I'm not gonna justify any of that shit. If I seen that, I'm like, yeah, some people might have to get in trouble because of this. Instead of saying like it wasn't against the law, it's like, who cares about that? Why he have to get punched? That there's nothing to require that kid to get punched in the face. So yeah, it definitely was excessive and stuff.
It's just it's so foolish.
Yeah, now here's the thing, right? Now, let's just say, for instance, okay, if we was in that situation and then we did comply, we was calm, we did everything we were supposed to do, and then one of the cops just punched us in the face for no apparent reason. Now, if we react and we whoop their ass or whatever, but of course they always come with gangs and they have guns or whatever, and they have the legal right to execute. Now, if we put our hands on them, and even let's say like they didn't execute us, okay, we will still like go to prison just because we put our hands, like we decide to defend ourselves and strike back against like a police officer, which is really dumb. A police officer would be like, put your hands, put your hands. He could say, put your hands down. I'm about to hit you with this billy club right in your fucking face. And the moment you put your hand up, now you're resisting. You know what I mean? But see, like when you have like the actual criminals that don't take that shit, and then they start killing these cops or whatever. Well, sorry, deleting these cops. Then everybody want to start feeling sorry for them. They want us to have pity, and they want to be like, well, we came and like we put our lives on the line for you guys or whatever. But and make no mistake, I mean, there are like a lot of good cops that are around, that I've definitely experienced. But unfortunately, it's always going to be like the rotten apples that's always going to put that negative stigma. Just like you have black folks and then you have niggas, and there's a plenty of good black folks around, especially like, in the Bay Area. I don't know about Miami, Wally, but but because like, the stereotype and the stigma that they have towards like, Black Americans, they're always gonna look at us like, like that we're all the same. So I also want to be fair, like in that snippet as well too, because I know there's good cops around, but unfortunately, it all depends on like on the what do you call it, on the justice system, or the chief of staff, whoever that hires them. You know, if you're working in a corrupt facility, you're going to get a breed of corrupted cops. But if you have someone that's really all about the law and is righteous, you're going to breed like righteous, like police officers that actually have integrity.
Well, my thing, because I agree with you saying, man, I think more cops got to start speaking up. Because I mean, when you think about like when they have these lawsuits, man, they expensive, and it just kills like the city budgets and stuff. So it's almost like shit. Like pay out bonuses. Like if shit like this, people speak out and don't tolerate it. Because it's like, man, you're gonna end up saving a lot of money from like when they do all this excessive stuff, man. You're gonna have to pay out like all those lawsuits. So I'm with paying them more. If people like say the cops, they're like, hey man, these dudes are kind of wild, man. They've been in some incidents, prior to this. They escalate all the time. Like, get this motherfucker up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, there's a lot of good cops where it just paints a bad brush after a while. It's like, damn, man, okay, man, we can't even like defend y'all no more, because it's like this shit be happening way too much, for minor infractions.
But yeah, but that's the thing though. It's like you really can't say there is not much of the good cops. Because think about it, 9 out of 10 there was no good cops in that scenario. No one then took charge. No one then told the other person, hey, that's not right. Don't do that to that man. Hey man, put him against the car.
No, I agree with you.
They ain't enough of that around. Even if there's a small few, and then even in the small few, they're not in place of the action when this goes down anyways to even intervene. The thing is, these cops just do not have enough discernment enough to just do the natural order of operations when it comes to handling situations. Because again, even at that point of you breaking the glass because he didn't want to step out the car, you broke the glass, you open the car, you unzip his buckle, and you still give him that damn opportunity to get out. And if not, you tell him that you move him along the way, you pin him against that car, and then you hand him, cuff him up, and you send him into the cop car. You sit him there until you either drive off to go to the office, or you need to get your office, your head officer, because technically he asked for the head officer. Now I don't know. Again, they say his headlights was out during the rain or something.
Yeah, so, I can't remember what they said.
Yeah, I heard they said headlights. So I'm like, again, even for a situation of that nature, I mean, granted, and he asks, "Oh, can I get the head?" And I'm like, don't know all that. But even to a point, like, okay, you ask for ID. I mean, let's be real, man. Like, I do believe, like, even from a simple stance, right? Put your window down a little bit, pass them the ID, and pass them your paperwork, and then that's it. You don't have to put it all the way down. Just pass them that stuff in, because at least you still comply, and they can see that you still comply from that standpoint. But from the standpoint of this being closed, it's like, but even from this being closed and you didn't give him nothing, it's like, yeah. But even then, you look at him straight up. Even if he didn't comply and pull down the window, did anything, he's looking straight right there, patient, has his hands where it belongs, and everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to hit this one because y'all seen this clip, man, and definitely wanted to get y'all take on it and stuff. So yeah, I think this was definitely excessive. Yeah, I think cops got to start. If you want a scene, it's like, all right, man, we could have, like, even I was cool with the breaking the window if they told him multiple times, but the whole punch, that shit was wild.
Yeah, they put the warning out there, so it's out there. But my thing is, but that doesn't mean that gives you the freedom to just punch someone in the face willingly for what? They didn't want to listen to you? What gives you that power? What gives you that ability? Show me in the books that you can do that.
Nah, definitely, man. We're gonna have to dive in deeper in some of these cop topics and stuff. I'm gonna start pulling in more of these type of criminal ones.